back in 2002, a man by the name of Richard Clark, who's a senior creative director over at Nike, came into our office in New York and asked us to work on a project that at the time was codenamed Ecotech. And his idea was to do a completely environmentally sustainable shoe. Unfortunately, he was getting pretty much no love from Nike, mainly because, you know, you've got a $15 billion company that's based off of selling 2,000 styles a year that are all pretty much with no regard to the environment at all. So if we set resources and set efforts to make one shoe that does save the environment, what does the 1,999 other styles say about that issue? So he was really getting no support, and he really needed to come together with a band of, you know, radicals within Nike. It was a handful of people, like 4 people at the time, and he had to go to an outside agency, which was Staple Design, because we had been doing work with them before. So again, to your point, the difference between a company that is born out of that DNA of sustainability versus a company that has made all of their fruits on the opposite, and then having to change gears is a very different paradigm to work with. We really were renegades within that company, and we had to slowly, one person at a time, change people's opinions on what it was. So we developed a shoe, and these are sort of some early renderings and sketches that we were just kind of playing around with the idea of what does this shoe have to do? What are the checkpoints that will allow us to call a shoe environmentally sustainable? What are the rules? What are the guidelines? What is the packaging like? And this goes all the way down from materials to manufacturing to production, even through sales and marketing. You know, everything, the box, the shoelaces, everything has to be green. And these are some of the images. This was the first shoe that we came out with. It ended up not being called Ecotech, and it ended up being called Nike Considered, which is what we ended up naming it. And in our store, Reed Space downtown, we did the launch for it. So the other thing that Nike has to sort of play with that maybe 7th generation doesn't is the backlash against doing something like this. A lot of people were really scared, you know, and they said, how do we do this? We don't want to come off as sort of saviors and saying like, oh, we're gonna save the world, and you know, maybe it'll turn into bad PR, or maybe it'll turn into people think that we're just trying to brush away what happened with our labor issues by coming back with this, you know. So working with someone like us was really important. It was guerrilla, it was grassroots. The point of this project was not about the environmentalism. It was about taking what Nike is good at, innovation and technology, and then doing something good out of that. You know, that was the baseline story of it. You know, it wasn't save the world. It wasn't that at all. And we converted our space into really a workshop, if you will, so that my mission was to dispel any doubt that people might have had. You know, oh, what is hiding up Nike's sleeve this time? You know, that's always the question when you hear something from a multinational corporation. So we laid it all out. We disassembled shoes. You know, there is no glue. There is no toxins. There is 0 adhesives. Every single piece is completely renewable. Every single piece is sourced within 200 miles of the factory. There's no air freighting of anything in, completely closed loop technology. And we just had to show and prove. That was really the bottom line, you know?
It's like physical transparency.
Yes. He said it's like physical transparency. So as you can see, you know, we actually nailed shoes up to the wall, split them open, and just really, you know, proved it to everybody. And on the left is this shoe. On the right is the Air Jordan 23 that just came out. For those who don't know, Air Jordan is one of Nike's best-selling shoes. It's also one of Nike's most expensive shoes, named after one of Nike's most expensive athletes. And it's typically not known for anything to do with green or the environment. It's really all about high-tech performance, $200 footwear that you buy for 11 months, and hopefully in the 12th month you buy the next one. You know, that's really what Air Jordan's all about. But this Air Jordan, number 23, which was the final Air Jordan that's going to come out, is completely made with considered sensibilities in it. But there's no PR behind it at all. You know, there's no Nike PR that says this shoe is made with green, you know, with considered sensibilities. It's really the evolution from that to that. And the idea is to get kids or get people who are into this culture to just buy the shoe and then discover it on their own. It's all about self-discovery, and it'll mean so much more to them when they discover it on their own. You know, so the evolution from what we did in 2002 all the way to 2008 is people in the NBA now playing high performance basketball in a green shoe.